Hi guys, thank you for coming to your workout today. We're going to be focusing primarily on some stretchy stuff, so if you are very tight in your hips, lower back, hip flexors, this will be for you. So all you need is a Pilates yoga mat or just somewhere soft that you're not going to actually be on the hardwood or a floor or surface, that you just have some cushion for knees, some support, and then we'll get going. Yeah, that's it. Just thanks for coming. So either, depending on how warm you are, you can take a couple inhales, take a couple exhales, but either starting standing, or I'm going to begin kneeling today just to start off giving the quads a little bit of a stretch. Come back onto your heels. Your call if you want to do with the feet down like this. I have some students that it's kind of aggressive. So you can either have the toes kind of pushed under like this, or you can sit all the way down. Again, having support for those knees. I'm going to face you guys this one, but just seating yourself back and down. Shake out the arms, shake out your head, shake out the shoulders. We're going to do just a little clenching in. So from here, just literally make a fist, clench in with the hands, fingertips, and then shake it out, shake it out. And then let's take a nice inhale. Reach the arms up overhead, stretch, lengthen towards the ceiling, and then let it go. Shake it out. Shake it out. Do that little clenching in from the hands, the fist one more time. Just pull in, and then let it go, and then just reach the arms up. Give yourself some credit for making time to stretch, to do some physical movement today. That is wonderful. Shake it out, shake it out. And then from here, roll the shoulders down and around. So you're just hopefully letting some of that tension up in the neck and the shoulders just relax down around for 3, for 2, and find your breath, find your inhale, find your exhale for 1, and then take it the other way, just rolling up, down and around for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then shake out the hands again, shake out the head, shake out the a little bit more of the fingertips, and then situate yourself. We're now going to go into a child's pose stretch, into a cat-cow stretch. So bringing your arms, just taking a little walk out in front of you, bring the arms out, and then let the head drop down. Try to imagine from the back of your neck, the back of your head, the neck lengthening out, stretching through the spine as those fingertips maybe reach another couple of inches out. If today's a day where you're like, no, I can't really do that, Katie, that's okay. Just chill wherever you're at, find your breath, hold it there, because we're gonna then lengthen ourselves back up on those palms. So just another 5 counts to hold. Again, giving yourself some credit for doing this. In 4, in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, bring those palms down under your chest. Now lift up, move the knees back. So we're scooching the knees back so they're underneath where your hips are. You don't have to worry about engaging the abs or anything like that. All I want you to think is making that nice high 5. So plant down the hands underneath your shoulders and then round your spine up. Think about like that angry cat back. Chin pulls to chest. So you're trying to now pull the belly up and in as you round through the back. And then on that release, maybe you need to open the knees up a little wider. That's fine. Let your hips open up. Let your butt kind of pop out. Let your belly drop down. Stretch the abdominal wall. And then try to imagine, if you can release anymore, let the back of your head pull back as that chin and neck opens up. And then just keep doing this cat-cow for another couple seconds. So find that rounded spine. Again, anybody that's been seated all day, you guys need this for the back, for the lower back. And then let the belly stretch out, let the butt pop up, let the back of the head, if you can, drop down, chin opens up, open up your neck, and then just repeat. And getting in a couple more of those, whatever feels good for you. And then we're going to go ahead and stretch back that right leg first. So you're going to take a second, we'll go back into the just regular tabletop back. And then keeping your left knee grounded. So the hands are going to stay put underneath the shoulders. Left knee is grounded. You're going to lengthen. Go ahead, stretch that right leg back. And if you guys can see where I have the ball on my foot, I'm trying to push with my big toe and toes down. That heel is going to extend back. This is very comparable. It's like the same thing when we do the stretch against the wall, where you've got one of your feet, like you're stretching the Achilles tendon, that calf muscle. Just try to feel that press back to that right leg. You're going to get a little bit of that right hip flexor. Doesn't have to be super long. It's just another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then drop that right knee down. We're now going to continue working on that right leg, but pull so your left foot is now going to be in between where your hands are. Slowly start to inch yourself forwards. That left knee is going to go over those toes. I'll show you from this side too. So you guys, that knee is going forward. You're opening up this right hip flexor. The elbows and palms I would keep them centered for the first few seconds. So just to get acquainted with however you're feeling today. If today's yours like, I gotta hold this is hard enough, chill here, that's fine. Once you've been in it for a couple of seconds, then decide, okay, maybe you want to drop the back toe and foot down. Maybe now you can mess with the hands by either pushing on that knee to open up a little more. Sometimes that doesn't feel good. You might want to bring the hands to the inside of where that knee is. So you can do a little light press, open, wherever you're at, just try to be mindful of what's pulling, what's maybe straining. So you need to come back out of it, bring it back middle, that's fine. We're still going to be working to open up that right hip flexor and just dropping the head and finding that breath just for another, just 10 seconds. And then we'll lift on up for a split stretch next. So in 9, I'm going to flip it and face this way just to confuse everybody. But in 8, we're going to straighten this front left leg. Your right hip flexor is going to lengthen out in 2. Make sure the back toe is tucked under for this one before we lift. Here's your 1. So now go ahead, you guys, lift the hips up, drop that back right heel down if you're able to. Let the head drop down on that front left leg. If this maybe feels a little bit icky, you can walk the back foot in. So for your split stretch, the legs are a little closer. It's different every day. It's different for everybody. So just take it to where you need for 10 more seconds and just breathe for 9, 8, in 7, we're going to come on down in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press it forward, drop that back right knee. Bring both of those knees together. So from here, this is where I want you guys to go into a wide, it's like a froggy stretch. Knees are going to open even wider. Ease into this one, because this one, if you're real tight, it's going to be like that. But drop the elbows on down. And then just do what you can for this one. Sometimes I have students who are like, yep, this is my limit for my range today. If you need to hold it here, kind of drop down, come out of it, just opening the hips. I realize this one looks absurd, but we're trying to get a little bit more of that nicer release and pull through. Think hip flexors pulling in from the groin, inner thigh, lower back. Just breathe. And maybe once you've done a couple of that, like that lift, walk it into it, you can drop and truly bring the forearms down to go deeper in the stretch. Advanced students, by all means, if you're like, yeah, I can do this, that's fine. It feels nice for the hips. Stretch the arms out, just like we do regular child's pose. Stretch the arms away, let the head drop down, and just chill here. I'm always a fan of whatever's going to feel best for you to try to work into some of these stretches, or depending on the day where we're limited or really tight or sore, the hips, psoas, all that stuff. Like today, this is really painful for me. So I'm just going to keep my elbows here for another 10 seconds and focus on the breath. Because a lot of these stretches, I mean, none of them are going to feel good for the first few counts anyways, because it's like it's not our natural stance for the muscles. You got to ease it, work your way into it. So don't force it. If today's not that day, it's okay. We can work on it. Get better with time. And then in 3, we'll go ahead and do the same whole sequence with that other leg in 2 and 1. So safely, guys, safely come out of it. Maybe you need to do a little stretch out. Again, shake out the right leg, shake out the left leg. That's fine. Do that. But now we're going to bring it on down. Palms come on back down. This time we're going to extend out and go ahead, stretch that left foot back. So this is the one that's comparable to that wall stretch where you've got one of your feet against the wall. But for purposes of today, plant the hands down. That right knee is grounding you. And you're just trying to ease into that stretch. So it's going to help from that hip, that back. You'll get a little bit of that calf muscle. Just try to have a grip on there too. So if you're really slippery, just adjust it. And then we'll go ahead from here in 5. Just keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, drop that knee. And then we're going to bring now, not the best way to see it, that right foot's going to come down in between those hands. And then just ease into this one. We're different leg, different amount of tightness today. We're never that even on both sides. So if you got to come out of it, walk back in, so be it. That's all right. But bringing yourself into that middle first, and then just gauging, okay, is this really painful? If it is, don't push past this where you're at. If it's available to you to then, once you've been in this for a few seconds, to start to mess with the hands, whether it's pressing on that top knee, awesome. Maybe it's messing with that back foot, drop it, flex it, point it, or bringing the hands on the inside of that right leg to kind of pry open that knee a little more. Fabulous. Do it. Just pay attention to how you feel and just being mindful of where your muscles are, where you're taking the stress and the pain today. If it's not doing harm, I don't know, just try and do some nice stuff for you. That's all. And I'm not a huge fan of stretch Anyways, I'd rather plank versus like do any pigeon stretch or anything like that, but it's really good for us. It's important to help to get flexible, and as we get older, just to keep those muscles and joints happy. So yeah, good job for doing this. Here's 5 more seconds on this one. In 4, we'll walk back center before we go into that split stretch. In 3, 2, and 1. So make sure before we lift on up, just to be safe with those hips, hands, bring the hands back centering around that foot. Tuck your left foot down, and then slowly, so make sure you have that support in that back leg, slowly ease into that lift up. Butt lifts up, head drops down. We're straightening through that front leg. And just try to relax the head. Maybe you've got to adjust the back foot, maybe drop that heel. Whatever you got to do, go for it. And just take that nice inhale. Take that nice exhale. Just thinking about that breath. Trying to channel it somewhere good. For another 5. In 4, we're going to come on down to a seated position. In 3, 2, and 1. So you can go ahead, bring those feet together. Hang out in that forward fold for a second. Shake out the head. And then let's take it on down. Back to those knees. And then come on down to your tailbone. So we're going to come to a seated position next. We need to get water. Grab some water after you've got yourself situated where you're on your butt. Legs are outstretched in front of you. And then take a little bit of a wider stance. So instead of just having those legs squeezed in together, open up the hips. Don't worry about having to like sit up super tall for this one. I know sometimes it's about posture and length as far as the spine, hips. All I want you to do here is just rotate the toes in towards one another and then rotate out. So we're doing that internal external rotation. We're imagining, just thinking in from the hip bones, you're pulling in, and then as you open, try to extend. So even though these are not super fancy, we're doing some work to help from where this connection in happens, where so often we're just seated at a desk, at a computer all day, or if you're standing, even trying to do standing desk, if you like lean to one side, just getting that rotation internally and externally, and just breathing. So if this is a movement where it's really hard for you to even go past like where my feet are, that's okay. You're not trying to go anywhere past what's available for your hips and your back right now and those legs. So just another 5 seconds to open and then pull. And then in 4, we're going to go ahead and take the right leg first and pull it up and then over on that left knee. I'll show you. In 2 and 1. So once you've done those last couple, bring the feet so they're nice and parallel. Let's pull the right knee into your chest. So just give that right knee a little hug back. Squeeze it. You should hopefully feel it from the glute, the hamstring. And then drop that right foot down the outside that left knee. And we're just going to do this 3 times where you take the left hand, pop it to the outside. So you're pushing in on that knee. And then twist over, looking up and over that right shoulder. And then bring yourself back center. We'll do 2 more of those. So it's not a sustained hold, just trying to put that light pressure, pushing the knee. And if that doesn't feel good, don't do it. Come out of it and then just breathe. We've got 1 more though, if you can. Elbow pushes that knee, twist through the spine. Trying to get a little bit back from that hip, that IT band. And then come back into your middle. Brilliant. And then bring that knee up. Open up that right knee to the right side now. So I've got my left leg still stretched out. My right knee is now opened. Scooch. Once you guys are in it, scooch. So you've got that left leg extending, right knee opened up. I guess I can face you guys for this one. Stay where you're facing, but just this is what this side looks like. And then we're going to now turn the hips, so you're turning your entire torso, twisting the spine towards that left leg. Just crawl those fingertips and hands on out of that leg. And if your stretch today is like this, so be it. That's okay. Just try to drop the head, trying to get a little more from that lower back, because sometimes the cause of when we're pulling tight in the hips, it's the low back. And backs are crazy. Back injuries are no fun. So if you're dealing with stuff in the low back right now, I am so sorry. Just take care of yourselves and try to go into it as best you can. We still have just about 10 more seconds on this leg extending over. Maybe you want to go a little lower, fantastic. Maybe you want to do a little point and a little flex on that foot, go for it. When we flex back, you should get more of that hamstring, a little more calf forward. We'll get a little bit more of the shin, top of that foot, quad. But just wiggle the toes, breathe. And then we're going to go ahead from here, meld both of those feet in. So we're going to do the butterfly stretch together here. Feet are going to come together, knees open. Go ahead, connect your hands onto those feet so you're pressing the toes together. Elbows gently pull back, and then just do a side to side. Just give a little of that action to stretching out through your butt. A little side to side rock. And then once you've done a couple of these, go ahead, slowly pull the elbows back even more towards your belly button. Drop the shoulders down. See if you can help assist yourself into this butterfly stretch where the knees maybe open another half of an inch or so. If it's not happening, again, just breathe, do what you can, and try to drop your head, drop your chin, and just relax in the neck. Just try to go somewhere with it that helps to get a little bit deeper, rounding through the spine. For 5, in 4, we're going to lift all the way up in 3, 2, and 1. So go ahead, lift all the way up, and then let's take the hands up, reach the arms up overhead, stretch, and then exhale, let the arms go. And then let's go ahead and do the other leg, that whole sequence. So stretch those legs out, wiggle the toes again. Take a minute to make sure your feet, hips, everything's nice and even. And now we'll pull that left knee up. So go ahead, slide the left knee up. Give it a little hug back on that knee. Gauge where you're at today. Maybe you're like, ugh, I gotta hold it on this. That's cool. Do you? And then pull that foot, if you're able to the outside of that right knee. And we've got 3 of these. You're just gonna bring right arm, push it so you're extending to the outside of that left knee, trying to get a little bit deeper through the spine. Do what you can. And then bring it back in. Like today, this side for me is not happy. So just trying to do a little bit of light pressure as you rotate through the spine. Breathe, bring it back center. You're doing awesome. One more, if you can. Just find that twist. Yay. And then bring it back in. Good job. And then go ahead, pull that knee back up to your chest. Drop the foot down, then open up that knee. Then open up that right leg a little bit more. So I always feel awkward stretching and then not like talking forward towards you guys. So stay wherever you're at, just so you can see where my left knee is now opened up. I'm trying to open up the right leg a little bit more, and then just slowly rotate the torso. So instead of going into it where you're like here, rotate through the hips so your chest is as best you can facing that leg that's out and away, and then walk it on down for that side stretch. And then just find your breath again. Try to bring it back into something that's going to help get you through it as the muscles hopefully start to release a little bit more, or just getting used to some of the movement as you're dropping down. For just a few more seconds, maybe while you can wiggle the toes. Maybe you want to do just a little pull back from that heel, a little flex. There's no wrong answer as far as, trying to not just like pull yourself down so much that it's going to strain anything, but just to take away from whatever might be hurting. Sometimes it's just easier to be like, okay, I'll point the toes, flex the toes, or just find the breath again, send it maybe that left hip, maybe that left knee, somewhere. You're doing awesome. So we've got another 4 seconds for this one. And then we'll go ahead and come back on up in 3, 2, and 1. Good job. So now holding with this left knee at that angle to open up, we're going to bend this right leg back. I always call this one the star stretch, where you're opening from this hip and then that heel on the right side's back. So once you're in this one where the legs are kind of in this like pretzel-y position or the star position, take and extend your left hand. So you're going to reach up and over. It should feel really delightful for that left side of your torso. So this is my left knee that's opened up, my left side torso. And doesn't have to be a long thing. Doesn't have to even be this little pulse I'm doing, but just trying to feel that side body stretch for another 3, 2, and 1. Now this left hand's going to come down to the ground. Right hand cartwheels over. Maybe you're able to drop the elbows today. If it's real intense on that hip, don't worry about it. Sometimes I have carrots in there for much. No, I do not. If you're able to, you can walk the hands out, straighten them all the way, but just try to give yourself credit for wherever your body's allowing you to go into that twist. Because this one, again, we're not in any of these for a ton of time, but just about 10 more seconds to try to feel that wrap around through the low back and that hip, and stretching away from that hip flexor. It might even feel nice if you guys want to push that foot against your the quad, the thigh on that back right leg. But here's your 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands up. So now you're pressing the palms down, just like when we do swan stretch. Think opening up the chest. So you are going to feel a little bit more of that left oblique on this stretch. Head goes up. Just trying to, again, work the flexibility as the chest puffs up. And then release it down. Release it down. Good job. And then let's just go ahead and switch it. Right leg kicks it up. Left knee is now going to be that back leg. Right knee should be the one that opens up. And this first part, like getting into this one, again, depending on how tight you are or wherever's feeling bad, like this for me, so maybe you're just going to hold it. That's okay. Maybe you can just do a little twist here. But ideally, if you're able to get that full reach over for that right side, go for it, that little reach over. Breathe. I'm trying with you guys for 3. And then we're going to cartwheel over. It's the nice one. In 2. Nice-ish. 1. So now take this right hand, lengthen it out. Left hand's going to cartwheel over with you. And then maybe you can walk the hands all the way out. Maybe not. Maybe it's an elbow day. Drop it down to the elbows and just try to be present with where your body's allowing you to go, and breathe. If I can find that breath, let that breath be your center as you ground yourself down on that nice pull away from the hip. So if this is one that you maybe want to push the foot onto that thigh, go for it. Hooray. But if not, that's okay too. Just about 15, 20 more seconds for this one. And then we'll come on up out of it. We're going to go into just one more nice thing for the hips, slow back, pedaling out those knees. And then we'll give that breath a nice push to your whole body, all the muscles. Just try to help send it everywhere. So let's go ahead, bring the palms down, open up the chest. So now it's like that half star, half swan stretch where your palms are pressing down, you're rotating open. So you're trying to think shoulders are even, and then just head goes back. Open up your lungs and find that inhale. Find that exhale. Just try and do a couple of nice breaths on this one. So you're opening up the chest as that rotation happens. And then let it go, let it go. Good. Let's go ahead from here as safely as you can. Flip it back down so those knees are going to come down. Tuck the tiptoes back how we started. Instead of doing that cat-cow, though, we're going to press the hips up. Down dog stretch. So tuck the tippy toes. Lift your butt up. Drop the head. Once you're in it, just pedal out those legs. You got a nice little pedal out from that left leg, right leg. Advanced students, if you guys want to kick one leg out and do that heel, drop back, opening up the hip, you can do that both on the left or the right side. Just be careful with it so you're not going to fall over. Like, don't get hurt. But that's kind of a nice one to also help open up the hips. But I'm just going to pedal my legs out today. Drop the head, chin to chest for 5. In 4. In 3. 2. And 1. Go ahead, walk those hands towards those feet or those feet towards those hands, whichever your preference is. And then we're going to round up through the spine vertebra by vertebra, taking the arms with you. And then once you're lifted up, stretch, reach the arms up, lengthen your whole body out, circle the arms back, and then pop the hips out, pop the belly out. Feel the ab stretch, feel the hip flexor stretch. And then let it go. Shake it out. Shake it out. And then let's just do one more inhale, one more exhale. So just think, big breath in, reach up, reach up. And then exhale, let it go, shake it out, shake it out. That's it. That's some good stretches for your hips, or at least the ones that I recommend for hips. Some low back, hip flexor stuff. So I hope it helped. Thank you. Good job. Yeah.